Hello, Josie.
Hello. Hi, salut.
Ça va?
Sorry, it's the first time I do this, so
Yeah,
I didn't see the
it's
request.
always a bit difficult to join because you have to invite and accept. Anyway, super glad to have you with us here.
Thank you. Me
Um,
too.
so it's a little preview of what is going to happen soon. So just to inform our audience, Josie is a graphic designer living in Switzerland. She will tell us more about that. And we are super excited because she's going to join us in our beautiful Mumbai campus only like 15 days from now, very soon. Not even 15
Yeah.
days, 10 days. And along with Pim from the Netherlands and Luz from France. So it's going to be very interesting, as it is every year, to have this fantastic meeting between international faculties and our students in India.
Thank
So,
you.
hi again, Josie. Can you tell me a bit more about you?
A bit more about me. So I studied graphic design in Beirut. That was long ago. And I worked as a graphic designer for many years, whether in small companies or magazines or freelancing as well. And now, since I moved to Switzerland, I'm more oriented towards illustration because this is something I really love to do. I really love to draw since I was very, very young. So I wanted to focus on this, and this is what I'm doing now.
Okay.
So now sorry.
No,
Now I'm a
good, no.
freelance, you can say I'm a freelance illustrator, and I do some graphic design jobs as well, but more illustrations if you want.
Okay. Okay. So are you living in a typical Swiss house? Because I see some wooden walls and ceilings all around you.
It's completely wooden.
Okay.
I live in a small chalet, a really very old one,
Yes.
200 years old, which I really love.
Good.
And I live in the mountains in the Alps, so I'm in a very small village where it's quiet and the nature is so beautiful and inspiring. So, yeah,
Okay.
I'm lucky for this, for sure.
People say that Lebanon is the little Switzerland of Middle East. Is that why?
Maybe. But yeah, it used to be, we can say. Now it's well, it's still be the mountains and the nature in Lebanon is still beautiful, but the cities are different. Like it, I think, like all other cities, very concrete.
Good. And what is your experience with India?
Oh, I have a beautiful experience with India. It's one of my favorite countries. I spent almost a year, I can say, traveling in India
Okay.
in 2 years. And it was all full of adventure and beautiful explorations and inspiration. So it's a really it's a long topic if I want to talk about it because it's my main inspiration if you want this country that I love very much.
Yeah. So India is always an adventure, but tell me a bit more about, was it related to design, first of all, your stay in India?
Was it for design? That's the question.
Yeah, it was related to design and illustration, or it was different?
No, not at all. Actually, it was for adventure and travel.
Okay.
But it, like with all what I saw, that was very, very different than what I'm used to. It created a huge impact on me, inspiration-wise, especially to see the beautiful landscape and to meet the culture, to meet the people, and I went for a travel experience and for adventure because this is something else other than illustration that I love so much. And I was very lucky to experience this. I spent the first time I went to India, I spent 6 months. A lot of road trips, a lot of walking in the mountains, a lot of time in the mountains and in nature. and then I visited many cities, and I met the culture, and I took also some art courses with some artists that I met in cities, and I met many artists as well. And I had my little sketching journey. So for me, it was a beautiful experience for sure.
And what was the impact of India on your illustration later on? If
Well,
there was any.
Yeah, of course. First, the use of colors and patterns in my illustrations, it's all coming from what I saw in India, that's for sure. And yeah, I can say that it's something I really love, and it exists a lot in India, patterns everywhere, so.
All right. So can you tell us about your professional life that you're having now?
My professional life now is I'm working on several projects, like in the time. And one of the latest is now it's getting published. It's a children's book that I worked on with a Swiss writer, and it's gonna be published in Switzerland for the moment. It took me like around 6 months to finish the work because it was me and the writer. And then after the process of finding a publishing house and meeting them and everything, and of course modifications and all that. So that was a beautiful experience for me. Other than that, some exhibitions that's happening in my small village, artworks, and what can I do? What else? Like a lot of other projects related to drawing, related to illustration as well. Some small companies asking for little comics, for advertising, for their social media pages, stuff like that, of course.
Okay, interesting. So tell me a bit, what keeps you going with illustration? How do you renew yourself?
The day that I don't draw, I feel so sad. So for me, it's really something very, very important in my life, because I need to create something. I need to express, and illustrating is definitely a mean of expression for me. It's a mean of connecting with my inner self. If I don't have a work to do or a job or a project to work on, I do my personal art. I work on my personal, and I need to do that. Like sometimes I have too much work that prevents me from creating something personal, and this is a bit difficult for me because I really need to create something personal to express myself through illustration. And I love to draw since I was very, very young. I used to create stories, to sit and draw for a long time in my room, while my sisters are just running wild at home and playing. But me, I was like silent, drawing and creating stories, because this is something I really like to do. I think it was within me or something.
So without revealing any secrets, but what is your process? How do you start, and how do you develop your illustrations?
First thing is the idea and the inspiration. So my inspiration could be, I don't know, could be a song, a sentence in a song, could be something, a poem, it could be a picture that I saw, it could be a view, a landscape. This is like the spark, if you want, is the inspiration. From where did it come? And then the image comes to my mind, and I start by doodling it, by a really quick sketch, shapes, and then bit by bit I draw on. Mostly I draw digitally on my iPad, and I will be speaking about my digital process through the workshop for sure. So it's the inspiration, the sketch, and then it will lead to the final artwork. but in the middle there is like ups and down, of course, because you want to create what is in your mind, and sometimes it's not the same, so you have to accept and to change and to go with the flow. Yeah.
Right. And that's a tip I want you to give to the students is, how do you know that an illustration is finished, is complete?
That's a really good question. For me personally, I can sit and work on the same illustration for a long time, especially on digital, because nothing can stop you. With your digital tool, you can fix, erase, change very easily. It's not like traditional, you know. But it's a feeling that I get that, okay, I think I love it the way it is now, and I think this is it. This is the finish, and I can't anymore work on it. But sometimes, you know, in some artworks, it's just like you can't stop. Like you keep modifying and modifying, and it's a little bit of a pressure. But I think at some point we should just accept the final results and say, okay, I'm okay with this, and I love it the way it is, and this is how it's gonna be. So,
and
for me, this is how
sorry.
Yeah.
Before starting drawing, is there a pre-production, some research, some initial sketches, anything?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, for sure. So before, when I used to draw before, a few years ago, I used to draw only from my imagination. So at the end, I wasn't all the time, I wasn't satisfied with the end results. So something I really learned from I learned from workshops that I attended from other artists that spoke about this, is to have a reference and to search is something very, very important in your work. So now after the sparkle and the inspiration, I definitely look out and I search and I do my search for the drawing. Like I don't know, I want to draw an animal, a dog, let's say. I'm gonna search, I'm gonna look at pictures of dogs, I'm gonna observe in order to convey what I'm thinking of, you know. And I think reference and research are very, very important to create the illustration or the artwork or the visual you want to show and you want to express.
Got it. And do you keep a track? Do you reference? Do you document all your process?
Yeah, because I use Procreate for the moment. Something really cool about this application is that it records your process and quickly, and you can export the video and look at it. And other than that, all the research that I do, whether images or colors or ideas or whatsoever, I keep it on because I make like a mood board, and I keep it. So when I want to speak about the creation of this illustration, I can go to the original point. Like this is from where it came. Like these are the colors I saw and inspired me to create this, and this is the shapes, the tone, the mood, everything. Like definitely, I keep everything for me and I save them for later. Also, it's all under inspiration folder. So very important.
Yes. Do you have a favorite theme, or it can be about anything?
A favorite theme to draw?
Yeah. A subject.
I definitely love. Yeah. I definitely love to draw characters because since I was very, very young, I only drew stories about characters, and I drew personalities and characters. So now I love to draw characters, definitely. And something else also, I love to draw nature, flowers, trees, and so I put the characters in what I love to draw, and I combine something like this, I can say.
Okay, interesting. And about your style, tell me, on a spectrum from completely abstract to hyper-realistic, do you position yourself somewhere, or it can be a bit anything?
Definitely not realistic.
Mm-hmm.
I can position myself into like a painterly look of a characters, not very realistic, but not very minimalistic. We can say like something in between, in the middle, in between the two.
Got it. And do you do any research on your style to develop your style, or you have your style and you stick to it? Do you explore?
I think my style developed through the years, of course. I still have some traits that stayed from before, but mostly for my style, it's not that I do a research. It's actually I got inspired from many other artists that I love so much, and like I took everything I like from each artist and combine it in my style, and I think this is how my style came to be somehow. And it's not only this, it's also that this style helps me to create continuous images and to be recognized, like, okay, this is the art of Josie, or a character that's coming from Josie. Like, this is something I like also.
Sounds interesting. What is your degree of freedom when you do an illustration for publishing? For example, when you have a client, if I can say so.
I'm so lucky because till now, with all the clients that I had a lot of freedom to create what I love and what I see. Of course, I had feedback and changes to do, and I was up to it. But what I've been asked to do is exactly what I love to do, and what so I think I have a lot of freedom for the moment, but I'm sure at some point maybe I will get something else.
And what are the commercial applications that you have to design for example? You mentioned a few of them in the intro, but can you elaborate about a bit of that?
Commercial applications?
Yeah, for what kind of output or what kind of medium you illustrate for?
Okay, it's mostly digital. It's all of them are digital actually. Like for the children's book, I worked on my tablet, all the artworks, and then of course the design of the book was made on Adobe InDesign, etc. For other, like for the comics that I've been asked to do for the advertising on social media, also digital. I also did some book covers, artworks that was printed or been made into like ebooks. I don't know if this is what you mean in your question.
No, but that's not what I meant, but you replied to it. I wanted to know the fields, the different application. So you say like comic books, children books, book cover.
Yes. Yeah.
Any, I don't know, advertising, packaging, for example, also? Do
No.
you work for this kind of product? Not at all. Not yet.
I haven't worked on any packaging. But during my work in magazines, I worked on artworks for editorial. So this is also something else. Yeah.
Okay. And what would you say to students who want to become an illustrator?
I would say draw every day, practice, and never lose hope. Never lose hope. I mean, go with the flow, enjoy it. And definitely work on yourself, because me, I couldn't do what I can do now if I didn't like sit and draw every day. So this is definitely something I advise everyone who wants or who has the ambition to become an illustrator, and of course to be flexible to client feedback and etc. Yeah.
And do you have a daily workout for illustration?
A daily now lately I didn't have so much time to draw for myself. But I'm trying to explore again the traditional tools. So like to have a sketchbook and to have pens and brushes, because I think it's very important as well. Because sometimes you just don't want to look at a screen and you just want to touch paper and yeah. So I would say,
because we ask all our students, especially the first year, to maintain a daily sketchbook, and the first year it's compulsory; they are graded on that, and it's kind of difficult for many of them. Yeah. Some complain, what is the point of that? So I'm glad that they can hear you saying that, yeah, there is a point of that. It's not just for the grade, and it really helps.
Yeah. I mean, it's so good to if you have time, just quickly on your sketchbook sketch something like a tree you saw. This tree that you sketched, you can sketch it many times, and you can use it after in an illustration and an artwork, and it will become a trait of your style as well. You know, like this is how, by observing, sketching, and practicing. Yeah.
Agreed. And did you put your hands into animation?
Sorry, it cut?
Animation? In animation? Animated movies or any kind of animation?
No,
you never tried.
I didn't study at my time. I don't know if there was animation. I think there was, but I didn't study animation, and I think the process is too complex for me because it requires a lot of work and a lot of patience. I mean, I am really like impressed by everyone who does animation. I try to do some like very basic animation on my tablet, is to to move a bit the picture, but more than that, no.
And it's been told in the industry that there is less and less work for illustrators. Is that true?
It's becoming harder, we can say. It's a lot of work. I mean, to become a professional illustration and to make a living out of illustration, it's a lot of work and patience and work on yourself, and a lot of competition, because especially now we have, with the technology, we have a lot of access on seeing other artists, finding them, and so we see that there is a lot of very talented people out there now putting their work out there to be seen. So I think this is why it's making it difficult. You have to really work on yourself and to prove that you can give something unique and something professional, you know. Yes. It's becoming also easier to seek artists and to find them with the technology, of course, and the access to learning as well is becoming very, very easier than before, you know.
And what is the next big thing that you would like to learn now?
Let me think about this. Well, the next big thing I would like to learn is oil painting.
Okay. Why not?
Actually, I never tried.
Really?
I never tried to use this medium. Like I think I tried many other mediums traditionally, but the oil painting is still something I didn't try, and it's on my mind that I would love one day to learn it, to try it.
Interesting. Do you collaborate with other artists or writers or anyone?
I had some collaboration with, but it was mostly for social media. Like we did some with other artists. We did some like competitions or like a giveaway. Or I also collaborated for the week challenge on Instagram for our Planet Week. So it was I was one of the hosts of the challenge, and it was an amazing experience as well to meet all the other hosts and to talk about an illustration movement that is very important for our future in climate change and all that, and for our planet, of course. So yeah, this is the kind of collaborations I did, and of course, like for the future, there's some ideas also, but more on the production, less on social media, is more for like making some collaboration with an artist to do something like physical.
And for your children's book, for example, you write the stories yourself? The text is yours?
No. It's the writer. She's a Swiss-Italian writer. She worked all her life with kids, and yeah, the story is hers, and I did the illustration and the book design as well.
Okay. So you do collaborate in a way.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. Thank you very much for this little interview. Really enjoy talking to you, Josie. And I'm really looking forward to meeting you in the real life, in the real Mumbai, in 10 days from now, and starting this exciting workshop together. Obviously, we'll keep our audience posted with what is happening during that week. And till then, I wish you a very good week and a lot of creativity till you come.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, and looking forward to see you all in Mumbai.
Yes.
Ciao.
Bye, Josie.